What is up, everyone? Welcome to another Bitcoin market update. Let's start off here on the monthly time frame, and we're looking at the declining bull volume here and the overbought condition here on the RSI, the relative strength index. This is telling us to be cautiously optimistic. We are in a bull run, but as we saw last month, we had a long upper wick of people selling into the rise in price, and we saw a decrease in bull volume, and we are really overbought on the monthly time frame. So we don't know how much farther this can go, but the R3 may be a good level to keep an eye on as a potential resistance level, as that is up at about $63,000. Now, I do these videos for your guys' benefit, not just to hear myself talk. So if you guys have any comments about the way that I go about sharing my analysis on Bitcoin in these videos, please leave a comment down below, and I will definitely take it into consideration, because I'm trying to help you guys figure out how you guys can do your analysis on Bitcoin and figure out how you want to go about investing intelligently into cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. So we're looking at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame here, and really there's not much to talk about other than we have a declining volume profile here with lower highs on the RSI. If this week we end up going down below the previous week's low here, we will probably go down to the purple zone here, which is down at about $37,900. Let's go to the daily time frame, folks. The daily time frame, we have made a higher low in comparison to this one down here. Additionally, we have also changed the trend to the bulls into the bulls' favor right here, with a higher high above this one right here. And something else to watch or keep an eye on rather is this support level right here. So the gray zone was resistance here a couple times before eventually we broke above it. And now we are, continuing to try and trend bullishly here. So this is our main support level. What are the main resistance levels on the daily time frame? Well, there really is not any main resistance level up here. But, like I said, the main resistance level that I'm watching is on the R3 pivot up at about 63,000. So that's our main level to watch, is at 63,000. But let's look on the lower term time frames just to see, get a little bit of clarity here and see kind of what we're dealing with. So the first thing to note is the trade that we had talked about right here. So we were talking about in this range that if we get two 12-hour closes below this gray zone, this is going to be resistance. We shorted it right here. We had a nice about 5%. Oh yeah, even over 5%. Oh, I'm sorry, we grabbed it from the magnet here. So it was, we entered right on the body, so right about there. So it was about 4% trade. So it wasn't bad. It was pretty decent trade. And then once we changed the trend to the bulls' favor, you can see here how trend trading works in action, live on the charts. We're seeing that we had this lower low right here. So initially we had a low, high, higher low, signifying that the bulls are buying the dip and they have some momentum, and then higher high, signifying that the momentum is in the bulls' favor once you get that pattern. But then we had a push significantly lower down to about 53,221, and this was a lower low. We went below this low right here and closed two candles below this black candle right here, which should have acted as support right here but did not. So a retest of that gave us a rejection, but the bulls were able to buy this dip and then pushed above and closed two candles above this high of this black candle right here. So here's our bullish pattern once again. So we have a low, high, higher low in comparison to this one, and then higher high right here. Now after we printed that, if we just ignore this white candle right here, what we had was another potential long entry here. So we know the gray zone acted as resistance right here, and we just changed the trend back to the bulls' favor. So that gives us pretty good confidence that a retest of that gray zone will probably end up leading us to higher prices. And so you can see what we could have done right here, which is something that I don't believe, I don't remember actually if I talked about this on yesterday's video. If we did go up, then I knew, we're going to go above the gray level. But then from there, if we get 2 candle closes above it, then I said I would relong a retest of that zone. And that's what we got right here. So the entry is the top of that body of that candle right there. And if you really wanted to be, what I was also waiting for was some entries down on this black candle right here, because it's confluent with this other gray zone as well. And this was the resistance zone that we saw right here when we came up in price. Price rejected off of this zone initially. Then we pushed above it and closed 2 candles above that zone. So a retest of this high would have also been a really good zone to long. But we already went above this high right here. So I took those bids off, because now if we go back in this level, I'm not as interested in it as I was on the initial test. Like I said, this is the long entry right here, this pink line on the body of this candle. And since that point, if we were to long that level, that was already about a 3.77% trade. So it's pretty good so far. But what are we running into right now? Because you can't see anything right here that we're running into, but clearly the price rejected off of something right here and is now with this longer upper wick showing us that there's still something that it's running into. And it's this 4-hour resistance level that I talked about in yesterday's video right here. It's this white candle right here. So if we look at this white candle, what is this candle signifying? This candle is signifying the end of this 4-hour bullish move up that we had here, because we had our high, low, high, low. Let me move this out of the way so you can see it. The high of this candle, the low of this white candle, the high of this black candle, which is a lower high in comparison to this one, and then a lower low. So that's a bear pattern. So whenever you see that combination of 4 elements, a high, low, lower high, signifying waning bull momentum because the bulls were not able to push above the previous high, and a lower low, a confirmed 2 candle closes below the low right here, that makes this level a confirmed resistance zone. So we're going to color this yellow, and this is our resistance zone. Now, I didn't short this zone initially when we ran into it, just because on the 12-hour time frame we had a very strong push into this level, and it wasn't consistent with my strategy because of the fact that we didn't test it initially. Like if we would have came up to it right here, like once we closed below it, we came into it, I would have shorted it then. I had shorts in there, or asks rather, but I did not get filled. But if you were to take this trade and you entered on the body of that candle, that would have taken you down about 2.4%. So that was still a little kind of a scalp trade there. And then we are pushing into this for the second time. Now this zone, if we end up closing 2 candles above this zone will turn into a support zone. And you can see the trend that we've seen here. Like, it's a very simple concept. If you have an established resistance or support zone that is tested and has held, if you go and close above that zone and have changed the trend to the bull's favor, then that zone, the previous resistance zone will flip and turn into a support zone. And that's called an SR flip, or a support resistance flip zone. And so that's what this gray zone is right here. So if we just take this off, this gray zone is a very simple, this is a very simple way to trade this. It's not a super advanced concept. We closed below it, so we short this level right here. We closed above it, so we long this level right here. Those are 2 trades that if you add those together, the profit potential there was over 8%. So 8% is pretty good for, over the course of like 2 days trading, especially if you're trading on margin. That could be a pretty significant couple trades. So, trading doesn't have to be difficult, guys. You can look for simple patterns on higher time frames, and you can trade with the trend, so you got the momentum in your favor, and you set yourself up for success. So now what am I looking for now? Like I said, this 4-hour time frame, if we end up closing above this zone right here, with this being a higher low in comparison right here, and then we push above for a higher high, this zone right here, as long as we don't go right to 63K, because that's obviously the main zone that I'm watching for resistance. If we close like 2 candles like right around here, like 61 maybe, what we can do is we can kind of measure what that would look like with our stop loss below this zone, going up to about 63. It's not a good risk reward. So actually, I don't think I would take this trade, just because the risk reward is not very good. If we go into that 63 level and reject off of it, we'll only make 4.4% if we longed the top of the body of the candle and put our stop loss at the bottom, roughly 1.6%, or I'm sorry, 1.6 risk reward ratio, which means we'd only make 1.6 times the amount if the trade went our way than if the trade did not go our way and we got stopped out. So I never take a trade that is below a risk reward ratio of 2. So that means that I will not take a trade that does not have the possibility of making 2 times the amount of money if the trade goes my way than if the trade does not. Because then if you wait and you take those sorts of higher probability, higher reward opportunities versus like opportunities that are less than a 2 risk reward, you take less trades, but the ones that you do are higher value. So it's quality over quantity in that sense. So that's currently what I'm watching. Last but not least, the Ichimoku cloud really getting closer on the 4-hour time frame of these two crossing bearish. I mean, this last, I mean, that is really, really close. If those end up crossing bearish, that will, like the blue line crosses below the red line, that will be bearish in the short term. Then we'll have to zoom out, and most likely the level that I've been waiting for, which is this, which I was hoping on this short that we would get to, was about 52,400. With this flat Kijun level, we did not get there. And if we look at the 8-hour time frame, it's the exact same thing. Flat Kijun, we did not get there, and we have this C clamp on the Ichimoku cloud printing right here. I want to see some here. 59,559. Close 59,515. Okay, so we could end up, well, no. All right, that's pretty much all I got for the analysis for this one. Sorry, I thought I saw something for a second there. If you like this video, give it a like down below. Subscribe for future cryptocurrency and blockchain educational content. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. Until then, onward and upward.